Could Doctor Doom really be the one who created the 10 Rings of Shang-Chi? And why are those rings pointing straight to Loki, sitting at the heart of the multiverse tree? Most importantly, how did Doctor Doom manage to fuse cutting-edge technology and raw magic? And why will his showdown with Tony be one of the most epic battles in movie history? And yes, Robert Downey Jr. will be playing both of them. Welcome to a brand new video about Avengers 5. Not long ago, at the Disney Expo in China, Marvel finally showed the official promo for the film. Doctor Doom has arrived in the MCU. This villain, a master of advanced science and powerful sorcery, is about to trigger a massive crisis across the entire multiverse. And what does it actually mean? Let's break it down. The multiverse is facing so-called incursions, moments when two universes collide and as a result both are destroyed. Victor isn't planning to sit around and wait for that to happen, he wants to speed it up. His goal is to bring down the old multiverse and rebuild a brand new battle world from its wreckage, where he alone sits on the throne. Loki thought he'd already outplayed the one dictator he knew. He defeated the guy called He Who Remains and created the multiverse. But there's a catch. Loki and the TVA clearly underestimated the scale of what they unleashed. The multiverse started expanding, branching out, becoming so dense that it now risks collapsing back on itself. Imagine the Big Bang in reverse. That's what's called the Big Crunch. If it happens, all matter and energy get squeezed into a single point again, only to explode, reset, and spin up a brand new multiverse, a new cycle. Marvel first teased this idea back into Fantastic Four, when they told about Galactus. They hinted he actually comes from a previous version of the multiverse. Right now, Loki is sitting at the very center of the tree, literally holding all this chaos together. And that's where things get really interesting. Remember the Shang-Chi post-credit scene where the ring suddenly lit up and fired off a signal? That signal looks suspiciously similar to the multiverse tree we saw at the end of Loki season 2. So obvious conclusion is this: the 10 rings might actually be a map leading straight to Loki, and that's the map the Avengers will try to use to reach him before Doom does. There's another theory too. Maybe the 10 rings aren't some ancient relic at all, but an invention of Victor Von Doom himself. Not just magical jewelry, but a precision-built piece of tech designed to lock onto the TVA and track down Loki. In the movie, we are told it's a set of 10 metal rings of unknown origin that give their wielder mystical powers. When Wu found them back in the Middle Ages and basically became unbeatable. But the Fresh Insider reports flip that story on its head, saying Doctor Doom was the one who created the rings in the first place. Now it's obvious why he needs them. These rings are the key to Loki. Through them, Victor wants to get into the heart of the multiverse tree and take control of the entire cycle. But how could Victor have built something that's been around for hundreds, maybe thousands of years? The answer is actually simple. First, this is Doctor Doom we're talking about. He's a genius operating several steps above Tony Stark. For him, blending bleeding-edge technology with mystical energies is about as hard as making a cup of coffee for us. Second, he also has free access to time travel. In the comics, Doom built his own time machine way back in his very first appearance in 1962. He used it to send the Fantastic Four to the 15th century, into the age of pirates. Reed Richards even ended up crossing paths with Blackbeard himself. That's how Doom's time travel canon really began. Doom's time platform is one of the coolest pieces of tech in all of the Marvel, and that's just one example. In the Iron Man Armor Wars stories, Iron Man and Doom get pulled through a time to Camelot, where Victor nearly becomes the ruler. About 10 years later, Marvel revisited the idea in the comic Legacy of Doom, this time throwing the heroes into the far future year 2093, where the stakes are truly huge. Stories like these show the true scope of Victor's ambitions. Latveria alone is not enough for him. He wants to command time itself and the entire universe and the legacy of entire civilizations. It's no accident Robert Downey Jr. recently poured fuel to the fire. He posted a cryptic video where two comics are clearly laid out on his table, the classic Secret Warriors and Iron Man Legacy of Doom. On the cover of Legacy of Doom you can see Iron Man and Doom locked in a battle. Fans instantly lost their minds, deciding Marvel must be building that exact showdown in the upcoming project. And the concept sounds like a multiverse flex. Robert Downey Jr. will be playing two different characters who end up in a fight to the death. And that's not just a fan service, this is going to be one of the most spectacular clashes cinema has ever seen. In the MCU, Doctor Doom might not be just a random newcomer, he could actually be a variant of Tony Stark. Tony who survived his snap in one timeline but with his face horribly scarred by the power of the stones. He understands the threat of incursions and sets off on a journey through time and the multiverse, gathering different powers and rewriting the rules of the game. Insiders are actually saying Victor will show up in a full force in the upcoming films, as both Master Sorcerer and Tech Genius. And that's not just guesswork, these are actual facts. At a Disney marketing showcase in Shanghai, they revealed footage and concept art that gave us the first look of Doom's possible live-action design. First, they projected a giant image of Victor. His costume is almost straight off the comic page. Medieval armor, gauntlets and a green cloak with a dark shade. It feels less like a modern metal suit and more like a ceremonial armor of Latveria's ruler. Next shot, Doom is on throne. It sounds simple, but in Marvel, a throne always means something. Loki, Thanos, Cassandra Nova, anyone who ends up on a throne turns out to be the key to some catastrophe. Now it's Doom sitting there. Then we see green energy across the hall, and suddenly Doom is holding a skeleton. Either he's ripped out of someone's spine or he's turned a person into bare bones using magic. Brutal, but it's a direct nod to Secret Warriors, where God Emperor Doom kills Thanos with a single strike. There is a big chance they'll recreate that moment on big screen, or he'll do the same with Kang. Then we see Doom in the air, meaning he can fly as well. Next, a big shot, he's tearing reality apart. He then pulls them back into his fist and blasts them out again. It looks a lot like that sequence from the What If animated series, where the Watcher fights Ultron and punches through multiple universes. And this is where it gets really fun. Observation Realm is a place where the Watchers oversee the multiverse. In the expo in Shanghai, it is shown as if Doom is shattering that place and rebuilding it in his own image. So we may have just gotten our first hint at the Battle World, a reality made from the fragments of the dead universes. And even that's not all. Then a green light appears. Then we see gigantic hands of Victor creating a ring out of pure energy, and it looks suspiciously like one of Shang-Chi 10 rings. Remember that post-credit scene? Back then everyone connected these rings to Kang. Now it's pretty clear Marvel is rewriting that idea. The rings are going to be connected to Doom. Inside the ring we see glowing green magical lights, just like Doctor Strange spells, which makes perfect sense. In the comics, Doom is an absolute powerhouse in both sorcery and science. And the final thought, if Tony really does go head to head with Doom, he will need something special. In the comics, he has a legendary golden armor like the God Killer. It is so powerful it can take down Celestials. That could be exactly like Tony's suit we end up seeing in the movie. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. Comment down below what you think and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this kind of content. Thanks for watching. See you next time, friends.